All right, guys, welcome to the Give It podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm host the most, Will Buchanan, aka Black Spartan. Of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on how your screen is flipped. What do you have for us today, sir?
Ancient mediocre woofu practitioner Joe Tonello. And you don't know what woofu is, I can't help you.
I'm every time. Together, we are the Give It podcast. Much like the WWE old guys, we do have choice language on here, although we don't cuss. At the same time, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So how do we actually start this? Well,
let's see if you even read what my tag is this time.
Talking with hands makes you Italian, not a fighter. You know what? I know some people that might slightly disagree with that, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
Look, it's even worse for me. I'm Japanese and Italian. Not only do I cannot talk with my hands. If I do, I have a chance of summoning giant robots, and the collateral damage is just terrible. These lasers.
You just got it bad on both sides. But we do actually have some good news to start with. Of course, with just to get this quick and out the way, Destiny did have an announcement this week that, of course, the late Lance Reddick did pass, who was the voice of Commander Zavala. Commander Zavala in Destiny now has a new voice actor, and it's actually Mr. Silverthroat himself, Keith David.
That's not how we say his name.
How do we say it?
Keith motherfucking David.
However you say it, Keith David will be the voice of the famous commander going forward. I have no issues with this. It's either going to be him or Dennis Haysbert. It was either going to be him or the Allstate guy. Either way, I'm not mad. I am actually loving this. The fact that Mr. David is saying, of course, he's paying respect to Lance Reddick, but also wanting to, as he says, quote unquote, I'm honored to continue the great work of Lance Reddick as Zavala. Lance captured the character's sense of integrity so wonderfully. It is my intention to continue that work. I honestly have no issue with this. As a Destiny fan, I'm actually looking forward to actually hearing the voice acting from Mr. David. Going into Bungie, concerning the fact that we are not too far off from the next expansion. But so far, Lightfall's been great. I will say that from a point, I'm still doing Season of the Deep until it actually. I'm trying to beat the clock on that right now because that season's going to be wrapping up very soon. But hey, Keith David actually voices Zavala. I got no issues with. Joe, any thoughts on that?
You were about to say gargoyles, weren't you?
Close, very close, and I recovered greatly.
He's about to go into this, yes. No, it's Keith Mother effing David. I guarantee you they brought two people, both of them in. It's like, all right, I want both of you to say, we live again. Mm-hmm. Whoever gets this gets the role. Keith David's like, stand back.
You know what's so funny about that? What if they try to put that in the Guardians game somewhere? If he says,
put it in DuckTales, why not?
I'm not against it. I would just be, it would have that moment of just, this is that moment of childlike validation, like just to hear we live again.
And on top of that, the best one was DuckTales, like, we live again. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But
or you just start sprouting lines from season 5 of Community. I'm good with either.
Either way, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting once his voice actually started to be heard. But speaking of interesting, we do, like I said before, as the title of our 110th episode suggests, it is a trailer overload, which means we do have trailers, some from the Evo tournament that did happen because there were some reveals from there, and other games like this one. The trailer I'm about to play for this one. I can give Joe credit because I've never heard of this, and now I have to go to PS4 and download WrestleQuest because it's interesting.
So let's purpose this a little bit, guys, is we're going to be short on movie and TV news because the actor strike is still going on. We're still supporting them. We are still within full solidarity of them. It's not that we cannot show trailers because as we are not being paid by studios or actors, or we can actively promote things. That's not making us a scab as we are not taking any financial support. It's just stuff is starting to dry up, and the next big things that are going to be coming out will not be till November.
Oh, the desert is coming. We're about to enter the desert.
Okay, see, now I think now that means one of two things. We're either going to run out of stuff, or you're already sneakily promoting Dune.
Yes.
No, which also is a slight news story. We won't put it up, but just putting it out there. Marvel's will not be in the IMAX because Dune has a exclusivity to IMAX to run for multiple weeks on end, meaning the Marvels will only have a standard theatrical release as opposed to a full IMAX release. That's kind of a bummer. I would have loved to see that in the IMAX, but do what you can.
I still think that might change, but the way the theaters are going, because like we said, the strike between the actors and writers, and now VFX artists are now unionizing to join up. So I'm happy for them as well.
I mean, good. I mean, Marvel definitely needs to it's the Marvel VFX people, and they definitely need to unionize.
Oh, fully agree. But yeah, reason why I say desert is only because we will probably, we still will have video game news. We will actually have comic news, even more wrestling if wrestling does improve. I was kind of planning on talking about All In because All In is going to be happening very soon. And of course, the world of WWE, that's a hit or miss right now. What are you going to say, Joe?
So you did not just see the news that Paul Levesque, Triple H, was removed from the board of directors via the merging of WWE with Endeavor.
Oh, I did see that this morning, and I was like, yeah, when they did that, because if Vince McMahon is not anything, and not to go on a rant before I show WrestleQuest trailer, if anything, Vince McMahon is literally the ultimate heel of the wrestling business. Because how else do you get kicked out of your own company, weasel your way back in, sell it to another company, get rid of the board of directors that got you removed in the first place, including your own son-in-law, and reinstill yourself back as the head of creative? That's a better wrestling story than actual wrestling.
He is the reason Eva Marie's back on television. So
yeah.
Okay, so also slight news with WrestleQuest. WrestleQuest was actually supposed to debut this week on Tuesday. But at the 11th hour, there was a game-breaking glitch that would randomly delete save files across all consoles that was just found. So it got pushed back 2 weeks. I'm okay with that because that means my next paycheck's going to WrestleQuest. But
go ahead.
That just kind of sucks. But guys, that is something that does happen actually quite often. And, it's an indie game. So stuff like that's going to happen. But, I still wholeheartedly go say, put your fanny pack on, get your coffee creamers, go be ready to be Muchacho Man Santos and have some fun fighting 50 wrestlers.
You'll understand why he said Muchacho Man Santos momentarily, but here's a trailer for WrestleQuest.
Time. The world is ready to crown a new wrestling superstar. Professional Wrestling's Hall of Legends includes some of the greatest names in sports history. Ascending to their ranks is no small feat. But the dream of wrestling stardom is about to set two humble wrestlers on a collision course with destiny as they embark on their quest for wrestling immortality. Muchacho Man Randy Santos, the rookie phenom with a heart of gold. Brink Logan, Roger, the grizzled company man who's paid his dues and hungers for more. Two gladiators who won't let anything or anyone, I own you, stand in their way as they battle these sinister forces taking control of every wrestling match in every ring across the land. But the path to victory is not tread alone. These determined warriors must recruit dedicated companions who will help them rise to stardom.
I am the best in what I do. You'll be settled sore after this! Take a seat.
The Brotherhood is cut loose! Each new party member brings their own unique set of skills and talents, so leadership is the key to victory. Deploying the ultimate tag team matchup is the only way to defeat the challenging opponents that lie ahead. Before either wrestler can take their place among the best, they must prove themselves worthy to the legendary wrestlers who came before them. Earning the respect of these fabled heroes will be the most daunting and rewarding challenge as they quest through wondrous lands, encountering friends, foes, and epic legends. 2 quests for glory, 2 wrestlers whose pasts will be forever entwined, 1 title. It's time for WrestleQuest.
You know what? I don't care what no one says. That elephant looks just like Vince McMahon. I don't care what no one says. That was, you can say it was loosely based. You can sit there and say it was an idea. When you see elephant, I'm like, oh, they did Vince, but how Vince would look in video game format. But that's WrestleQuest. As Joe said, it is not available yet, just because they did find a bug and they're trying to resolve that bug before it becomes a big thing. I'm down with it just because I saw the trailer. I'm like, I immediately want to play it when it's available because me and Joe are both fans of wrestling. We truly are. At the same time, to actually see something in this type of format that's not, and again, no disrespect to WWE 2K or AEW Fight Forever. Both are great games, but this is different. And different is sometimes good, especially in the RPG format. But I'm looking forward to it once I hopefully get a chance to play it. But Joe, any other thoughts on that?
Oh no, I'm immediately getting it. Like hands down. This is something that I'm going to sit there at lunch, download it at 2:00, eat my 2 potatoes while learning how to play this game. That's exactly how that Tuesday is going to happen.
Nice. Okay, so we are going to go back and forth because, like I said, a lot of trailers, some news. So we're going to jump because these two things are kind of related because they are in the world of Street Fighter. I can talk about this because number one, I have yet to play Street Fighter 6. Joe has painstakingly rose to the ranks in Street Fighter 6.
I'm still in gold 3. I can't get out of gold 3.
But at least you're in gold. You're in gold. Some people may have passed bronze. So if anything, that's an achievement in itself. But we got to start with this weird news first because, of course, with the release of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem and the success behind that, and like most things in life, everybody takes the Fortnite route and you want skins. Well, there are skins available for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those skins are available on Street Fighter. However, to understand the reason why this picture makes sense up here is because each of the skins for the turtles in Street Fighter are $15 a piece. Yes, a skin for each turtle is $15 a piece. So if you want all 4, you're basically paying for the base model of Street Fighter 6. So because of this, some players like myself, because I don't believe in buying skins just because you don't own it. At the same time, because those type of games are sandbox open type games that you don't get to keep your content, they can pull it away from you and you'll be mad because you don't own it. But some players have decided to go into creating their own turtle skins, which is why you see the Donatello skin here, but you also see the how can I put this so nicely?
The Leonardo.
Yeah, you know, the Leonardo from Wish that you can see there. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said before, your money is your money. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to spend their money. But again, you would think, and I say, and I use Warzone. I use Warzone, guys, as a warning because Warzone is getting shut down. And the thing about it is, for those people that spend, if not a few bucks to $100 or even more than $100 in the Warzone, those things that you purchase, you don't get to keep. They get ripped away from you. And I'm not saying the same thing will happen in Street Fighter 6, but at the same time, if it's not on your console, you really don't own it. So you're kind of running the risk that a skin that you paid for may not be available to you anymore. And I say may because, you know, may or may not, but the fact that the thought of it actually could be taken away from something that you paid for still exists. But I'm good not having a Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello skin. I mean, I understand it's fun. It's nice to have them because if anything, we could use we could really use another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter game from the Super NES world. I'm not against that. But for me, I could do without the skin if need be. But Joe, what about you?
Okay, so I can break this down a little further because I actually went in and looked at it. I did not buy it. So, the TMNT content, you get two choices. You can either get a mask in any of the four colors for 250 fight coins. That is $5. Or you can go and get these skins. Each is 750 fight coins. That's roughly $15. So if you want to get the entire content package, it is $80 for everything. And even then, it is only for Battle Hub and for possibly World Tour. I don't know if World Tour is included in it or not, but it is definitely for Battle Hub. It is strictly for your custom character, meaning you're not reskinning Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, and we'll go with Luke.
Yeah.
In like rank match and whatnot, you're not going to be able to play Raphael over or Luke wearing a Raph skin in ranked or casual. It is just for Battle Hub. Now you can do stuff in Battle Hub with those things like, Avatar fight, and I think it carries over into the Battle Hub arcade.
Yeah.
Stuff. I'm unsure about that.
It does.
Okay.
I remember that part. It does.
Okay. So you get that, but still, like, this is one of those things where you got to tell where us not buying it's going to tell Captain it's like maybe $10, $2 for a mask and $5 for a skin, or maybe even $5 for a mask and $10 for a skin is slightly more acceptable than $15. Especially considering it's purely cosmetic. It is not giving you the moves from tournament fighters. It is not giving you additional range. Like if you play as Donnie, you're not going to be using that bow staff to extend your hitbox of the thing. Not unless you somehow slap that on a Dhalsim. And even then, I don't think it works like that.
I'm about to say I don't know if the mechanics work like that.
No, I mean if you do standing hard punch and he does his yoga jab and the stick goes out, it's the same hitbox length. But like I said, I don't think we're going to that. I think it's just certain characters are getting the skins, and even then, I think it's still basically Ken, Ryu, Luke, and I want to say Chun-Li, but I'm not sure on that.
Well, someone did actually do Chun-Li in a Leonardo skin.
So that's their Avatar stuff.
That was kind of weird.
In the battle arena where it's the Avatar fights, and I can do Chun-Li's moves no problem. I have all my stuff set to a combination of Ken, Manon, and Chun-Li, but that's just because of versatility. My character was a kick base, but anyways, I digress. Not a great outing for Capcom. I mean, they're still hitting more home runs than they are foul balls.
Yeah, but not everyone's going to be a home run.
Yeah, not everything's going to be a home run. I mean, let's look at Exoprimal. Not saying that that's not doing poorly.
It didn't.
It's just one of those things that after it came out, I just have heard nothing about it.
The expectation on that is because of other games that were coming out, it's not getting the same attention.
No, the expectation is that it should have had the title Dino Crisis, and we'd still be talking about it.
And we also would like another Dino Crisis PlayStation, but
Regina's in there just with a different name. The woman looks identical to Regina.
I agree. You're not gonna get no argument from me. I agree. But anyway, but like I said, that's the awkward news from Street Fighter. Now, of course, Evo did happen this week. This week. There was a lot of news, especially some trailer reveals that came out. One of them being another Street Fighter character that's a little different.
This is my secondary character when she comes out.
She's
not a charge character.
Here's the trailer.
Which one of these was the herbal medicine again? This one. Probably. Now, here comes the airplane. Say, ah. No! Some poisons can kill people in the thousands with that amount. Like botulinum toxin, it inhibits acetylcholine release, causing loss of muscle tone, lethargy, dizziness, visual impairment. Heavy eyelids, intense thirst, loss of speech, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach distension, breathing difficulty, respiratory failure.
That's just plain creepy. Well, that actually is the character Aki, as you see there, guys. She will be coming to Street Fighter 6. I got no words.
This one.
Go ahead, Joe.
They're much like how, unlike most of the Street Fighter 6 community, who immediately says, "But I can fix her." I just go with like, "No, I'll use her. I want to see what this says. Hopefully, she's just not a charge character." So Aki is somehow related to the lesser used, much maligned, and mostly memed character Fang or Fong from Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
We don't know if it's his daughter, a clone, secretary. God only knows. We just know that they are related somehow because they are both Chinese poison users who are not a fan of Chun-Li. I said I'm looking forward to her. I'm hoping she's like a Rekka or just anything but a charge character is what I'm really just after. I mean, if she is a charge character, then I guess I'll have to learn how to play modern controls. Ooh. So you know. I mean,
that's the forever Reddit argument. Modern controls versus.
There are actually some characters that are actually better if you do play them modern. Like that has been said by multiple high-level players. There are just characters that do operate better off modern. I mean, you know, modern is also a decent entry point. It's what's helping people get in. I mean, Street Fighter developers said, you know, we actually considered not making this a 6-button fighting game this time around.
I mean, it should be. Like I said, most fighting games should always have some area of welcoming new players, just because not everybody learned fighting games off the basic controls. I mean, me and you did, and people of our generation did, but you know, I
learned with 3-button fighters.
Yeah. I mean, we had to learn off 3, and then, you know, of course, with 6 and going from there. I'm not against it. I just can't wait to play it. But I saw that Spider-Man PS5 that's still available, and I'm like, oh, I gotta pay for a wedding.
I'm not getting the PS5. I'm just getting the game.
I know. I just keep seeing it's still available. I'm like, I'm trying to tell myself, you have a wedding. This is.
What you do to solve this problem is put it in the wedding registry.
I want to, but that idea was shot down. But anyway, there is other news.
It was shot down doesn't mean it can't happen. 6 months have taught us you'll win in the end. Joe, you have severe consequences throughout the entire episode.
Joe, you're going to have a wedding and a funeral you're going to at the same time. But anyway, there is some other news, though.
That means I'm wearing my entire white suit regardless?
Pretty much.
Okay.
But we do have another trailer, guys. It's more of a teaser trailer because there was rumors of this happening, and it looks like they are moving forward with The Last Ronin. And pretty much, here's the teaser trailer for it. All I can sit there and say is I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this. Of course, this is a screenshot they give, guys, of The Last Ronin. Of course, if you don't know the story, long story short, this was a story in which that one of the four brothers actually survived. It is on a quest for revenge. And I was surprised about who the brother that was still remaining alive, because he actually trained in the weapons of his fallen brothers. Of course, you can see there with the bow staff, the katana, and the sai. And I was like, that's good. I mean, it was an incredible comic book story, number one. But to see it actually in video game format, I am going to be very curious to see what they do with it. Of course, as you saw, guys, this is being done by THQ Nordic, as well as a new group called Black Forest Games. Never really heard of them as far as games they've done in the past, but like I said, a lot of these games, a lot of these companies that are coming out of the blue are doing exceptional things with video games. Of course, we saw that with Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. We saw that with Crystal Dynamics. I mean, there's a lot of indie games out, a lot of indie companies out there that are doing great things. Now, of course, we don't have any much more information on this, but if I had to take a wild guess, we may see something closer to the Video Game Awards if I had to take a wild guess. But again, I'm all for it. What about you, Joe?
Eh?
Yeah,
I really didn't care about like the God of War game that came out last time, and
cheers. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I know. Like, it was fine. It was just there were just so many problems to me when I tried it. Mm-hmm. It's like, can Kratos not hop this like 5-inch like separation between planks? Why do I have to like go half the map to when I can just simply step across? It's that one meme where it shows that nice gentleman just doing this.
Yeah,
it's one of those. So okay. I really don't have too much hope for this. If that's in the vein of God of War, it's like, hooray, I have to go half a map to when I could have just like simply hopped.
No.
5-inch space. Plus, THQ Nordic has not had the best track record as of late. So I'm a little bit worried there. I mean, hopefully they're just publisher.
I think they're using their engine. I want to say the engine for THQ is being used. I could be wrong on this, but I think that engine is being used.
Best of luck to them. Plus, I was not a big fan of this storyline. Anyways, even though I know Eastman said this was supposed to be the definitive end to the Turtle story, I am too entrenched in the IDW continuity now, and it's like, nah, this doesn't sit with me at all. Pseudo prequel story where the brothers training 4 other turtles.
Yeah. No, I'm not against it, though. It really shouldn't have been the end. I would have preferred it as a one-off story or like a what-if kind of thing. I loved it, buddy. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. But I got a bone to pick with some people, because when Joe pointed this next game out to me, I was about to get mad and immediately go to PlayStation Network to see if it's available, because Cyberpunk 2077, a game that everybody should know, a game that when it first came out, it had a lot of issues. It was rushed. It had bugs, but many patches and updates later, it's actually a very fun game to play. That being said, the DLC Phantom Liberty, which some people at Gamescom got to play, and then there were some people of the high influential variety got an early copy of it. All I can say is I hate you all.
So what is going on with this? I've looked at some of the YouTube videos. Gamescom hasn't happened yet. Mm-hmm. What is going on is they are doing what's called a world tour, where they are going around and letting certain parties play the February to March version of it, so that it can continue to refine it. I believe it's already gold, so it's done and over with. It comes out in a couple weeks.
Yep.
But this is coming out from their build of the March build of the game, so they can get early impressions, answer questions for games journalism and gaming influencers, and then getting feedback and trying to tighten up as much as they can before the game actually launches next month. I believe it's the end of next month.
Yep, September 26th.
This is like them going out and doing last minute tuning.
But still, it's still a level of hatred.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've already dumped 120 hours into that thing.
It is, but that's the reason. That's the reason why it's like I'm looking forward to it, just because number one, it's supposed to give a different ending to the endings that you could have already selected.
Yes.
So that's why I said before. For me, I just want to play it. It almost makes me want to go back into Cyberpunk and do another run again. But I'm kind of currently going through Arkham Knight and getting the Riddler trophies because it's the one guy I didn't capture. But that's neither here nor there.
I kind of want to go and do a Corpo run, but at the same time, I just want to keep running around as my female street kid V. Like a good time until the Phantom Liberty stuff drops.
You know, the funny part is I was asking some people, it's like, what was more fun, being a nomad, a street kid, or Corpo?
So supposedly Corpo is the most fulfilling because you are the antithesis of what everybody you are the thing everybody hates and has to be dragged out of it into the real world.
Yeah.
I was a street kid in that one. And it's just like, nah, I'm just gonna be a female V. Just be a street kid. You get a lot more dialogue as a street kid with a lot of the early activity than you do some of the later activity.
That's fair.
I also spec mine super weird. Mine was like body intelligence and engineering, which is a very bizarre combination because I don't excel at anything. But I have a lot of health. I can hack really easily. Mm-hmm. I can open every door, but I can't like bluff my way out of crap. My reflexes are crap because I have nothing in cool, nothing in reflexes. But like I got a 1300 DPS shotgun. I don't have the slow down time.
But you have
that shotgun.
But you have but you basically have a one hitter. So I mean,
but I am good enough in this game to where I just sit there. It's like short circuit.
Yeah.
System reset. Okay, shotgun.
That's true. Also, other quick news, guys, because again, this is a new month for PlayStation. Just let you guys know that there are free games that you can get a hold of. Actually, what's showing right here, the game catalog for this one: Lost Judgment, Destroy All Humans 2, Curse Golf, Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, Moving Out 2, and Sea of Stars. Lost Judgment was definitely fun. I love Lost Judgment. That was definitely fun to play.
So, from what I understand, the big two in this is Curse Golf, which was very fun, and Sea of Stars is very much going to be like Stray was, where this is a same day and date release. I think this comes 2 days later or a week later because this drops at the end of August.
Yeah,
this is the RPG that sci-fi fantasy RPG was inspired by Super Mario RPG in terms of game mechanics.
Okay.
But we are getting it kind of like how Stray, where it's a brand new game and free right out the gate, so long as you're an extra member. So, you know, not quite Game Pass, but Game Pass.
Yeah. Although The Witch Queen was good too, it did actually lead to where Lightfall is now. So again, if you never played The Witch Queen campaign is definitely free for PlayStation Plus owners at the moment. So definitely go ahead and enjoy that. Now, beyond that, like I said, we did have other news as well. You know what? Dead by Daylight, I am just surprised because because amazing because it wasn't just too long ago. Me and Joe were talking about Nicolas Cage being in Dead by Daylight and scratching our heads over exactly what does he do in the game. But come to find out, he's not he's not the person that hunts you down. You basically play in his format and try to survive whatever horror's coming to you. Well, it looks like they have a new go-to in Dead by Daylight. What are you gonna say, Joe?
So the interesting thing, we're about to look at this. That is not Sigourney Weaver.
No, it is not, and I was really surprised about that.
Someone did not want to pony up the money for Sigourney Weaver's likeness.
No, which is the exact reason why those actors and writers are striking because of AI. Because, well, you'll see what we're talking about. But here's Dead by Daylight with the Alien edition. Well, as you can see, guys, that is Dead by Daylight, where you have the Xenomorph as the killer and the survivor as Ripley. And like we pointed out, it's not Sigourney Weaver, but damn if they didn't try.
I will say this, as I do with anything Alien, the clear winner of that game, Jonesy the cat.
Because the cat always seemed to survive.
I mean, he survived until Alien 2 when he got left on Earth to live a nice, happy, fat life in a hospital. No, so the only thing I would add to that is if you are on the hook, which currently they made the hooks look like hive hooks, which are not a thing. I made that up immediately on the spot. I feel like you should be have an egg in front of you, or once you are hooked and you're not going anywhere, you should have a face hugger on you.
Ooh.
Just that small detail of like an egg, and if you don't get off the hook, the egg opens up and then your face hugged, and then that's how you die.
Fair.
Like, it's just one of those small, it's a very small thing because I'm an Alien fan. Like, that's like what horror movies.
But it would add more to the gameplay, though. It's like if the Xenomorph doesn't get you, the face hugger will.
Well, it's just one of those, if you can get yourself off the hook, the egg doesn't open. But if you hit, I'm not quite sure how this game is played, but I think you have to hit prompts.
Yeah.
Get off the hook. So if you miss your prompts, the egg opens up a little more.
Okay. I can see that. But again, for all those that are Dead by Daylight fans, you have something to look forward to come September, come August. I should say come September. I'm thinking of my own stuff. Come August. So the next trailer we do got, I have to give Joe credit for this. I haven't played Grand Blue Fantasy in a long time. And seeing Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, Again, this was announced. Was this announced at Evo, Joe? Or was
this was announced at Evo.
Thank you. This was also announced at Evo, and I find myself, along with this and another gamer got a show, I'm gonna have to expand back my fighting skills, expand back my fighting games, because we're not getting a Killer Instinct anytime soon.
Actually,
wait, hold that thought. Let me play this first before you get to that. Hold that thought. Here's the trailer for Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising.
Like tragedy, far across the horizon, destruction splits its wings, falling out on the light, rising down and we spiraling to chaos, into a journey that we fall. Is this our destiny? But one day, when we set forth there, upon the summit of the blue beyond, we'll turn towards the skies and shout. Our voices ringing loud, a terror heroes forged in fire. And even in the moments of doubt, when we like beating boosting, so we carry on. Into the blue skies that will reach the different in our hearts. Knowing for will help and will not the path this won't let us distance. So we marching forward, fearless. No, we will never reach. Do you have the courage and the fire? Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising.
And as you can see there, guys, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. You can pre-order now, as that's coming out November 30th for 20th of this year for PS5, PS4, and for Steam. So yay, I can at least look forward to that coming out, because like I said before, it has been a very long time since I played any Grand Blue Fantasy game, and that looks like that's just going to be a crap load of fun. But before Joe gets my hopes up, because I mentioned we may not get another Killer Instinct, but I think, Joe, you had some news about that?
Yes, they are doing a 10th anniversary patch to the game.
See, that's just a tease. That's a tease.
No, that's showing that there's enough interest to where that a game that has been pretty much not touched for the last 10 years is getting a new balance patch. I mean, Microsoft is starting to notice, oh, wait, they want this.
I mean, it's just up there with Gear 6. I mean, I don't mean to go on this rant with Microsoft. I really don't. But good Lord, Killer Instinct, when it came out, was great. I'm glad you revamped it. I am glad you gave us an updated fighting system. I am not complaining about that. But we were expecting another one. Just like we're expecting another Gear 6, which they are working on. Gear 6 is getting worked on. But, I mean, come on. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. But anyway, Grand Blue, can't wait to play that. Before I get to Joe's next possible main on Tekken 8, was there anything you wanted to add to it, sir?
No, I mean the Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising.
Yeah,
I mean, I can keep adding adjectives onto that. Honestly, I really don't even want to play for the fighting. I want to play for the Fallout guys clone that's in the game. There's also a free version 2 coming out that you can play where it's I think it's the original base game is going to be totally free when it initially comes out. Mm-hmm. Or there's going to be a free version of Versus Rising where you can play 4 characters and have like full online functionality and anything, but you only get like the 4 basic characters.
Okay. I noticed out of that trailer, everything is doing exactly what Street Fighter 6 is doing, and I'm all for it. The fact that you have open world, the fact that you have gaming, you have other games that are going on, like you said with Fall Guys, the arcade situation, the looks like the battle. I won't call it a battle hub, but let's just say it's a networking area where other players can meet. I am all for that. So I'm looking forward to it. But Joe, you got to explain this Tekken 8 character before I play it, because in our group chat, Joe has sat there and already claimed this person as his main. Would you like to explain why, sir, or should I just go ahead and play the trailer?
There's nothing more to say other than coffee.
Oh, here's the trailer for. Here is the character reveal. How do you say that? So what?
Azucena.
Azucena. Okay, I was going to ask because I was trying to the Z and the U was kind of messing me up. But here's another reveal for Tekken 8.
Café.
Get ready for the next battle. Tekken 8. New Challenger.
¿Es hora de entrar? Aquí viene el espectáculo de Azucena.
Azucena.
El café es la bebida número 1 en el mundo. Je te prouverai que le thé est supérieur. ¡Vamos a divertirnos! ¿Tienes café? ¡Necesitas más café! ¡El café es lo mejor!
You know, Joe, I can see why you like this character.
All I got to do is drink 100th cup of coffee, and I'll be untouchable.
Well, I can already tell she's definitely gonna be a counterattacker.
Yeah, she's a stance character, and her stance just lets you dodge everything.
I mean, but I see why you have an affinity for this one, because she is definitely a fan of coffee. I will.
Is the fact that she's coffee, or is it just the fact that she's basically Laura in Tekken?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But that's not the only character that did get revealed at Evo. This one, which is dang near so close to Shinobi, all you're missing is just the ninjutsu out of it all.
No, we call him what he is. It's Wesley Snipes of the Naruto world.
If Wesley Snipes was in Naruto,
I mean, we all know he's from the Rain Village.
That's fair. I'm not going to argue that. But here's the other character that was revealed on Tekken 8.
Witness the results of my training.
Get ready for the next battle. Tekken 8. New challenger. Raven.
I saw that.
Non c'è spazio per I dilettanti.
It's not over yet. You won't see this coming. Go to hell. Nothing personal. My ninjutsu has evolved to a new level.
Okay. I'm sorry, Joe. I apologize. He is definitely from the village. That was basically Raven being revealed on Tekken 8 as another character, of course. Tekken 8 is shaping up to be quite the fighting game. I definitely cannot wait for that. I am here for the turtle stuff. Sorry, my friend. We did show the Last Ronin TMT trailer that, of course, you can see out there as well. And, of course, we did cover the turtle skins that are available on Street Fighter 6 for a nice little penny. But thank you for watching, though.
All I got to say is, yes, that is definitely Wesley Snipes' Naruto Sona.
Yeah.
He plays very differently from the last iteration of Raven. He does go much more into the shadow clones for his 50 mixes and all of his setups. So hopefully this will get Raven a bit more play. I do know that Evo did come down to the ninja chick. Kisune. I don't know. It's been forever since I've played that one.
Oh, you're good.
Kisune versus Kasune. I know that was like the thing.
Gotcha. Well, it looks like it's shaping up to be very nicely. But we do actually have some other news that came out. Apparently, those that actually got to be at San Diego Comic-Con actually got to see the first footage of X-Men 97. From what we have been told, that a little bit, I think they said the first 20 minutes was shown, to where the teaser showed the X-Men engaging Dr. Trask in an interrogation, introduced New Mutants, Archangel and Bishop, as well as Sunspot. And again, they're all. It looks like from what it looks like they were saying about the opening episode where the X-Men were facing off against a new Sentinel threat. So, from my understanding and from those that I've actually talked to, like Navy Montel that actually got to see it, he said it was great. He said it lived up to exactly what X-Men 97 is. So I take his word for it because him and me have the same exact taste. So if he likes it, then I know it has to be good. But I'm just actually waiting to see when it's going to finally be released. But Joe, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's some other things like Jean Grey being pregnant and them dealing more with Cyclops being taking over the charms. Previous things have shown that Magneto is wearing his this giant purple suit with the big old white M on it.
Hang on, Joe. Hold up, Joe. You're going robot mode. You got the robot voice going. Nope, still the same.
Yeah, it's okay. I can live being a Decepticon.
We got to be able to hear you. We got to be able to hear you, sir.
Anything different?
Nope, still robot voice. It's you at this point, sir. It sounds like you went full Decepticon. But while Joe just checks out his audio for a second, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be interesting as far as X-Men 97. This is the reason why I say that at some cons you can actually be able to see stuff like this. Wait, what's it, Joe?
Can we go now?
Better go for it. Say what you're saying before again.
Oh yeah. So like I was saying, from what I understand, also Jean is pregnant. Mm-hmm. Cyclops is now like full install leader of the X-Men. There's no problems anymore. Magneto is wearing his purple M suit, his purple suit from the New Mutants era, where it's got the giant white M, because he is technically the new headmaster of the school, while Scott is like full team leader and everything. The thing I want to learn about is who is Scott's current voice actor, because the current Cyclops got rid of the last two Cyclopses, unfortunately. So that's kind of a bummer. But I know everybody's reprising the roles. I'm looking forward to the fact that we are actually getting the New Mutants. Sunspot is definitely a big leg up. I'm pretty happy with that. Archangel, he was already in the X-Men several times. So I don't know why he'd be him coming back as big, but Bishop coming back again. As long as we get to hear about the future.
Which we know we're going to. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be interesting. So, Kamen Rider, before we play this, Joe, how do we want to summarize this?
So we looked at this a little bit last week. This is the extended full release trailer from what we played last week. This is also subtitled, so apologies to the podcast people. I can't help you see sites without seeing. So you'll just have to follow along and hope your Japanese is up to snuff. This is like the full reveal trailer that's going to be showing the full premise, character names and whatnot. Once again, we got a Kamen Rider with an actual mom. This is going to be set back in high school, where Duke gets transferred out of a normal high school into a high school of alchemy, and then shenanigans arise, and then he's got to be a Kamen Rider to help defeat evil. Which we're just calling the Sisters of Darkness at the moment. We don't have an actual enemy name for this group, but and we swear to God, not every single character name in this trailer will be a writer by the end of the series. But more likely, every single person named in this trailer, with the exception of the mother, will be a writer by the end of the series.
And here's the trailer.
錬金術。それは金属や鉱石、さらには人間の肉体や魂をも精錬し、完全なる存在を錬成しようとする秘術のことである。そんな錬金術によって作られたのが奇跡の人工生命体ケミー、そしてケミーを封印した101枚のライドケミーカード。しかし今、その封印が何者かによって解かれようとしていた。新番組仮面ライダーガッチャード。私立浦須高校2年生一ノ瀬幸太郎はごく普通の高校生だった。今日までは
なんじゃこりゃ
錬金術を学ぶ学校だよ。私も通ってる。
ある日突然、幸太郎は錬金術師を志す若者たちが集う錬金アカデミーに入学する。
誰や？今の誰？
一見平和に見える世界の裏で、錬金術師たちは世界の調和と繁栄のため研究を続けていた。しかし運命の時は訪れる。
やっぱり完成したんだね。暗黒の扉を開く鍵。錬金術師の使命にかけて、ここは私が食い止める。
これなら俺も戦うよ。ケミーもクロウも絶対見捨てない。
そして託されたのは世界を崩壊から守る力。
少年、今よりお前のあだ名は仮面ライダーだ。行くぜ、ホッパーチームライダー。ホッパーワン。チームライダー。 Gold Dash! Charging Buster! The team of football! Evo!
今、未完成の少年が大いなる道を歩み始める。新番組「仮面ライダーガッチャード」9月3日日曜午前9時全国テレビ朝日系にてスタート。ガッチャ
You know, Joe can call it because that was interesting. That's Kamen Rider Gotchar. And again, shout out to fan subs. Y'all people do not get enough credit for what y'all do, but thank you.
So, a couple of things have already transpired since this thing. One, I've already bought the deluxe version of the belt, meaning I get the belt, 9 cards, and the arm wristband that lets me fold the thing. 2, a couple of people I know that live in Japan have entered a lottery and have actually already won the deluxe driver 2 weeks ahead of when the belt hits the public. So congrats to them. 3, Japan is, Bandai is going really, really heavy into this trading card thing because they've already released 2 sets because the driver works off trading cards.
Yeah.
So we have the 00 set already sold out because they're going to have different rarities of all the cards that can be used for henshins. Like Hopper 1 has at least 3 different rarities and 3 different artworks. And Legacy Riders have their own specialty ones with different artwork and different rarities. Set 1 has also already been sold out. And if you hit up, and this is not sponsored, but we do want to try and give notice to any either Black-owned or POC businesses on this podcast that we can. So Toku Collectibles, which is where I bought my stuff from before. It's where I got my Kingo caliber right here. Got it from them. POC owned intermediary company. They do fantastic work. I managed to get the deluxe driver from them, but both card sets, if you buy a box, which is actually pretty reasonably priced for $55 a box, they're completely sold out of the boxes. Damn. So this is going to be trading card game annoyance for those of us. Even for me, I don't even want like the super special, super chocolatey fudged ultra rare version of Hopper 1.
But
I just want to be able to match all the rider cards together.
Oh, somebody's gonna want it. But no, it does look cool. Also, another game, like I said before, Evo news out the gate. Guilty Gear Strive, because I haven't played Guilty Gear since I don't think I've ever played Strive. Now I think about it.
It was a lot of fun, but the thing I couldn't find, and I don't know if it's in this trailer or not, is they are receiving a massive overhaul of gameplay patches. So there's like 3 new moves across the board for characters in terms of like just general gameplay mechanics. There's like 3 new moves.
So is it balancing?
It's a balancing and adding new things to help maintain balance and health.
Okay.
So like there's a white Roman, an offensive Roman, a defensive Roman, and one other type of maneuver that's getting added to the game. And then this new character, which a lot of people were actually kind of upset with. They did not want this dude. They wanted other people. So there was actually quite a bit of booing when this trailer debuted.
Ooh.
Because they wanted Venom, and instead we got him.
Okay, I gotta play it. I haven't seen this trailer yet, so this is gonna be interesting. Because the character's name is Johnny, so now I'm just curious to see why this person got booed. But anyway,
have you not played? What Guilty Gears have you not played? Johnny's been in most of them.
Johnny has, but
he's the one with like all the little girl female pirates.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why did he get booed? I thought he was a fan favorite.
Well, let's just say the mindscape has changed since then.
Here's the trailer.
Ooh, you're pretty good. I'm just a little better.
Just listen what's called the years, the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean.
A happy ending happens when the handsome guy wins. The Joker's just a clown when you don't win. Gonna repay that with interest. Let's get one thing straight. I didn't beat you. You beat yourself. If you've got sour grapes, I'm all ears. Oh, you're taking the game. I respect that. Let's make this snappy. You won't be a hero. Be the last man standing.
This bullshit blazing through my heart.
I mean, okay. I mean, yeah, he got a different look. Okay, so he's available August 24th as a DLC character. So correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, because I know I didn't have it in this. So you're saying during the Evo reveal, they booed him? They booed this?
Yeah, they booed this because they wanted Venom. And the poker card made you think it was Venom because of the gambling. So everybody thought, next thing up, we're going to see a pool cue and then Venom and whatnot. And instead we got Johnny. And I also think just the idea of Johnny himself, of a dude running a pirate ship of nothing but young girls, just is like, probably not the best thing for this day and age anymore. People no longer appreciate the lolicon.
That is true. I mean, it did have.
I'd say that's Johnny's whole personality and whatnot. I don't know. And when I played it, I played the girl that had the detective girl with the ghost dog. It was pretty much just like, what if Blue Mary hopped into Guilty Gear? That's who I use.
Right.
So, it wasn't for the fact that it was Johnny. It was more of a fact of it wasn't Venom.
So it's just everybody was expecting one thing and got
the other. Yeah.
Okay. So the last trailer we do have, guys, from Evo. I did not have this on my bingo card. I really did not. The fact to hear the words Fatal Fury again, to me, was probably one of the more underrated fighting games. And the fact that we're getting another one, I'm all for it. Anything you want to say, Joe, before we play the trailer for it?
This is how Joe and his sister learned to be competent and mildly competitive at fighting games. Because we played the crap out of Fatal Fury Wild Ambition to the point where Jane actually can use grappler characters very easily, and I can use pretty much anybody, but she can still hit a 360 and I can't.
She's gonna hold it over your head, isn't she?
Oh, I can do the Raging Storm anytime I want, so we're even. I can get around Crab Claw. She can get three. She can like roll people with Segumi Sendo. There's a reason that character hasn't been seen since.
Wow. Oh Lord! Here's the trailer for Fatal Fury. Here's the trailer for Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves. City of the Wolves.
Raging Storm! 知らぬい究極奥義
知らぬいユニコファイナルクンナイ
ビンゴファイヤーほう昇降拳
総称戦
ビーフォーヒブリスゼーレパワーガイター
画廊伝説 City of the River
You know what? Just for the fact that I recognize at least 6 of those characters that was the voice sounding for it, I'm all for it. I am definitely all freaking for it. Of course, news will come out about that as it's in development. Like I said before, I'm really thinking Video Game Awards is where we're going to see a lot of this because number one, it's in the wintertime. It's right before the holiday season, so I'm just throwing out a guess. We might get more information on this because, let's be honest, that guy seems to get the scoop on a lot of things because he has a lot of friends in high places. So,
yeah, if not, then Tokyo Game Show most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we already got character confirmations in this trailer, so we know not King. We know Terry and Rock most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
If you are up to date on who's who in this game and are good and have been playing this for a very long time, we get at least 10 confirmations.
Mm-hmm.
So we get mine Andy get to come back. No idea if Konohamaru gets to come back or not, which is Mai's little brother or an Andy's student. We do get to see older Mai and Andy, unknown if they are married by this point or not, but I would like to believe that Mai forced him into it finally after this long. I'm not wrong.
You're not. It's just funny.
We do have confirmation of Joe returning. We've already actually seen some of the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Joe also staged, I believe that was also Billy shouting. I might be wrong on that.
No, I guess the same thing too.
Kushnada Butt from the Kyokugen Ryu, or it could be Ryo as Mr. Karate. We're not sure, but more than likely Kushnada Butt.
Mm-hmm.
Another cosplay for you, by the way, because you got the hairstyle and the thing. You just need the orange gi and carry that dojo sign around. Possibly.
You know how much have my hair stick?
Possibly also Sakura, or not Sakura, Yuri. An older Yuri.
Mm-hmm.
T-Zoc. For those of unaware, T-Zoc is also Dinosaur King.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it's the difference between Raiden and Big Bear. One's a heel persona. Well, let me rephrase that for those who don't know who that are. T-Zoc and Dinosaur King is the equivalent of Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. One's the heel persona, one's the face persona. Possibly, we don't know who is with him. Maybe Gato.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one is obviously Terry and Kane. So right up there, we are missing some characters from the previous Mark of the Wolves. We don't have either the Kafon twins. We don't have the dude from the Akari Warrior, he was a police officer.
They could come back as DLC characters.
I'm thinking this is just the beginning of the roster confirmations. I'm just saying it's like we are missing some. We don't have someone like Bijane.
Right.
Who's not here yet. That little girl who was like the spirit medium, who was Gato's little sister. She was in the original game. Like I said.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I can't think of her name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, like I said, the Kafwan twins, K-Hoon and Jae-Hwan. They are not there, but I'm sure they will be later on down the road. Marco, who was a Southtown police officer, but dressed like he was one of the Akari Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are missing some of the core cast, but that's not to say that they are not in it. These are just the initial announcements. And for those with a trained SNK ear, this is pretty much just confirmation like, well, there are the first 10 fighters of this roster.
Yeah.
Graphically, I think it looks fantastic. We did get assurance. If you listen over to Maximilian, dude, he did get assurance from the SNK team that Rock doesn't suck in this game. That is actually a notable thing because for Mark of the Wolves, it was supposed to be about Rock. He was one of the worst characters in the game.
Yeah.
However, in KOF 14 and 15, he's outstanding. So we got assurances from SNK that the title character will not suck.
We hope, otherwise it'll be another hype and rage episode. But with that being said, guys, like I said before, we did have other trailers that came out. MK1 is starting to shape up to be quite the story as we were telling a retelling of the first Mortal Kombat tournament under Fire God Liu Kang. The next trailer we're about to show does show additional characters as well as confirm some characters that we'll be seeing in the game. And of course, it's Mortal Kombat. I don't know why I have to warn people. You've seen Mortal Kombat trailers. You know what to expect.
Yes, copious amounts of waffle making noises.
Pretty much.
So, the majority of the content, I will say before we jump into this, let us just put it the way we always do when stuff like this happens. The majority of the crowd went, "Oh no, he's hot."
He's not kidding. Here's the trailer.
Earthrealmers aren't ready to see the real me.
So how does it work? You just shape-shift into anything you want?
I can shift only between this and my natural form.
Whoa.
That I could take human form made me a freak among my people. I was terrorized. Run out. You misread my intentions, Princess.
I am Ashra, demon of the Netherrealm. I appear nearly human because I've purged most evil from my soul. My sister demons were furious at my change of heart.
Astra and Syzos, come. The monks must prepare you for war. You will accept chaos, by choice or by force.
Killing one realm to free another is a heinous proposition. One I won't let you fulfill.
They're out for you too, Syzov. To catch me, they must see me.
Oh, damn.
Take your chaos elsewhere.
I can see why. And again, I hate to say this aside from this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. There's already a reptile daddy trend going on, isn't there?
Yep.
I figured as much.
Oh no, he's hot.
I figured that trend was gonna be here eventually. That train was due to make it to the station. But that is the next trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. Of course, we all know that it's coming out, although the beta, the closed beta will be from August 18th to the 21st. If you did pre-order, you will get access to that. And of course, we did see some new characters there, as well as some confirmed characters, as we saw Stryker and Cyrax in the beta. That demon, the demon I kept seeing with the other characters, I was trying to picture where that one came from.
That is Serena's demon form from Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
Okay.
She's one of the three sisters. Like, one of the ones, like, Sub-Zero, Bihan tried to, like, you know, you can get out of here with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so was Ashura. She was one of the other ones.
Gotcha. Thank you for that.
Also, Havoc came from the 3D era.
Yeah. I'm still digging it, though. I still like it. Again, Mortal Kombat 1 is shaping up to be a nice game, especially with the co-op play also a part of it. So, again, looking forward to it. Joey, anything you want to add way more to that?
No, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who I want to even play. It'll probably just be Lee May if I actually get the game. More than likely, I'll just do what I do every Mortal Kombat and swap Match a Million, dude. Play it. Enjoy the comedy.
Okay. Well, Joe, I'm going to lean on you for these next couple of ones because I've never heard of this, and maybe you can, before we play the trailer for this one as well, Under Night in Birth.
All I know is it's like a super hyper popular anime fighter where it brings out the most anime that ever animated to anime.
That's a lot of anime. Well, let's see it. Let's give it a shot. Here's the trailer for Under Night in Birth.
今日これから最後となる夜が始まる。それでも行かねばならないクオンとの決着のために。
じゃあ行くとしようか。長く続いたこの夜の物語を終わらせんな。
アンダーナイトインバース2。
怖いのか？安心してくれ。俺は絶対に負けたりしねえよ。
ようやくこの時が来た。正真正銘最後の夜がな。
我が暴走のサビとなれ。
今宵だけは私の答えのためにこの剣を振るいます。私はオートノミックナーブ、バティスタ、人ではないもの。
俺は俺のなすべきことをなす。それだけだ。アンダーナイトインバース2シスターセレス。待ちわびたよ、この時を。
Okay, I got some research to do because I want to try this. That was Under Night in Birth, guys, as you can see, coming out in 2024 for PS5, PS4, Switch, and Steam. I have never heard of this, and now I have to add this to my list. That looks actually pretty cool. It does kind of have a Persona 5 feel to it, but I still want to try it out. It does look really cool, though.
I haven't seen a video anime fighter this anime since Evil Zone. Huh. At least then I got to play as Danziger.
I have never heard of this, and I now have to go do research on this. That actually looks pretty cool. But I'll definitely have to look into that because I need to get more games for my Switch because we won't get another Metroid Prime game anytime soon. Nintendo.
You got Super Mario RPG coming.
Yeah.
And Mario on Acid. Which apparently is just kicking the shit out of the QA testers, apparently.
Is it bad that I just like, I love Mario, don't get me wrong, but it's like other games I wish Nintendo would push forward, they don't. It's like, yes, I'm happy with Tears of the Kingdom. Do not get me wrong. Happy with Breath of the Wild, happy with Tears of the Kingdom. If I didn't see a Zelda game for another 4 or 5 years, I'm cool. You gave me 2 beautiful Zelda games, and plus I sell the Nintendo channel for the rest of them. I'm not complaining about that. But come on, you can give us another Metroid game. You can give us, I'll even take another Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I'll take that. But it's just for some odd reason, Nintendo, and I'm not knocking Mario. Every Mario game has been great. But we don't need another Mario game. Just like Mario Kart 8 is going to be the pinnacle of what you can do. I don't see a Mario Kart 9 or 10 or ever coming out because after 8, that's pretty much it. Just like you won't see another Super Smash Brothers. Look what they did with Ultimate.
On top of that, Yuji Sakurai just had an interview like a week or so ago going, I'm not doing it anymore. Quit asking.
Yeah, it's like you can't. I mean, don't get me wrong. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it is wonderful. It is great. You're not. It's you know what it is. It's like if Hideo Kojima came back and said, "How do I top the Phantom Pain?"
I know how he tops the Phantom Pain. That's very easy.
How so?
By finishing the Phantom Pain.
I will concede, there were some parts. I will concede. There were some parts of the Phantom Pain that needed some touch-ups. I will concede to that. But
still, like the majority of Act 5, which wasn't really an act, and you could tell this is where they let Hideo Kojima go. And just said, finish it here.
You pretty much, I will concede to that. So I will say Act 5 was probably the touch-up that needed. But the thing I'm getting at is just that you can't really top things. So why not introduce things that either A, people don't know about, or B, things that people have been clamoring for, and just go with that. I mean, Nintendo has kind of had a safe track record of delivering quality games that didn't have a lot of bugs or issues, not like those of the Xbox or the PlayStation variety. But come on, I need something other than Mario. That's all I'm saying. Which is what leads me to Project L, which again is something else I did not know about. But I have to thank Joe for this because Joe found this. I watched the trailer and I'm like, I have to know more.
It's Marvel, baby.
I mean, it is beautifully done. But anyway,
actually, it's more the gameplay is more closely linked to Power Rangers, but it's based around Marvel. It's basically Marvel 2.
Okay. But you'll see why in a minute why I'm so intrigued with this. Here's the trailer.
Go with the wind. I blade my storm. Take the wind. You feel its spice.
So that was Project L, Yasuo and the Unforgiven. Of course, it goes into they actually are talking about the game, and again, I just didn't want to cut that off, but it looks freaking awesome. And of course, as Joe said, this is an anime fighting game, but I mean, just to give you guys some ideas, and I mean, I'm just giving you screenshots here as I'm going through the trailer. That is nice.
Yeah, this is the fighter coming out of Riot Studios. This is the League of Legends fighter.
Oh, so this is cool. So again, I haven't heard of this. Now I'm intrigued. At the same time, I'm amazed. Number one, how fluid it is, and I mean, it's crisp. The background, the character, the definitions of it all. I'm like, okay, I have to give this a shot. If anything for Yasuo, because he reminds me of what's his face from Samurai Showdown, and I'm not complaining about it. But Joe, any thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't have too much, if any, experience with League of Legends. I'm aware there's a very popular or was popular series on Netflix I need to get around to watching. I think the only character I know about it is Vi or Vi, or she was a officer with giant mech gauntlets. That's about as much as I know, and I hope she's in the game. Other than that, I mean, I'll give it a shot as I do almost all fighting games.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, this just looks to me like Marvel or Power Rangers Battle of the Grid.
Yeah, I actually had to write that one down and keep that one in my notes for later for games. Once I get past this wedding, there's so many things I want to get. So many things I want to get past this wedding. But anyway, the last show that I do have, guys, is basically called how can I call it? The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. So, Joe, any background as we play this trailer?
No.
Okay, so I haven't seen this trailer, so this is gonna be interesting. So, with that
the Pokemon stuff.
Oh, okay, go for it.
That's what you're talking about. The hidden, yes. So Tuesday we had a Pokemon Direct. We got announced 3 anime series. 2 of them were web series. One's actually about the Pokemon trading card game. In fact, the first episode dropped today. It's called Path to Bake, where it's a kid getting into the Pokemon trading card game and her journey from literally day one to regional champion. That's going on. There's another one called there's another Pokemon anime coming out where it's going to be focusing directly on Paldea, which is the Scarlet and Violet area. That's going to be over on the internet as well. Pokemon Horizons, which is the anime without Ash, is getting a US release soon. They did an update on Detective Pikachu where he drinks more coffee and still talks like, I don't know, pick a random TV detective.
I was going to say, because every time I just hear Ryan Reynolds. I can't really put it past anybody but him.
Yeah, I know. Even though it's not him, it sounds like like I said, old television detectives. Just don't pick Angela Lansbury. Then we got updates on Pokemon Go. Scarlet and Violet Pokemon are entering. Pokemon Cafe, Pokemon Sleep, and then what we're about to look at is the DLC. First, the DLC trailers for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The first one is going to be in a pseudo-Japanese festival area. Okay. And the second one's going to be at a aquatic-based school.
Okay, cool. Well, let's check the trailer out. This is the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. Well, that's cool. So that's actually was the trailer for the hidden area. The hidden treasure of Area Zero DLC. As you can see, guys, that looks is available for purchase now. Of course, you see part 1, the Teal Mask, which will come out Wednesday, September 13th, and part 2, the Indigo Disc, which will be planned for a winter release later on this year. That looks pretty cool, even though I haven't played Pokemon. Oh, good Lord. I haven't played Pokemon for a very long time, but I know my son completely adores it. He actually has Pokemon Scarlet, but he definitely loves it, and I can see why. It definitely is the gift that keeps on giving. But any thoughts on that, Joe?
I mean, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's fun, and I actually enjoy Scarlet and Violet because, unlike most people, I'm not really hung up on frame rate when it's happening 40 feet away from me.
Fair enough. But with that being said, guys, that's really all the trailers and news I have. Joe, do you have anything before we move on to comics?
Nah, we can just move on to comics.
Okay. Well, while you're queuing that up, sir, we do want to go ahead and definitely shout out Rick's Comic City. Rick's Comic City, if you are in the Nashville area, you can definitely check them out. They actually have a few locations, guys. As you can see here, one at Lebanon Road, and also one in Clarksville. And of course, their endeavor called Locker Nerd, which could be at Fort Campbell, which is in Clarksville, Tennessee. Also, you can go to their website at rickscomiccity.com where you can buy comic books, trade covers, pull listings of that nature. But definitely check them out if you are in the Nashville area, as well as again, if you're not in the Nashville area, definitely support your local comic store, support your local libraries. Again, these are the last places to where you'll be able to get comic books and manga and multimedia to your heart's content. And as always, Joe, I love that he got that card because I got that same card too. Read banned books. We're not getting political here, guys, but honestly, read the books they don't want you to read because there's things in there that they don't want you to know. Expand your mind. Do yourself a favor. Read banned books. You'll be better for it. So, Joe, what's the pull you got for us this week, sir?
All right, we're starting off with Superman Annual. This is kind of a stopgap. This is going to be setting up the next bit of storylines for Superman because Night Terrors is still running over the entire line. But we're letting everyone know. This book is letting everyone know what's going in the world proper. Pretty much just Superman is fighting Toyman. Lois, who is still editor-in-chief, is pretty much sent out the entirety of the news staff, which we get a rundown of who's who and who does what. Everyone kind of just gives Lois their ideas, and Lois like, my God, you people are reporters. Everybody go do something different so you all get better experience of doing things. Except you, Jimmy, you do your normal thing. So everybody just goes out and does some stuff. We learn Jimmy and Lisa Lombard, who is the sister of Steve Lombard, go to Supercorps, and we learned that Parasite is on a work release program inside Supercorps.
That was still funny.
Yeah, and they find a offshoot parasite that actually escaped the vaccine, but becomes pretty much Parasite's new puppy.
That was funny. He's like, "Can I keep
considered?"
While Mercy tries to prove that she has a heart, yes, you can keep the dog. I just love the fact he came out of nowhere and said, "Boss, that ain't me." He said, "Paying a parasite." He comes out of nowhere. That is not me.
I mean, the book just kind of ends nicely where Clark is like, Lois is like, yeah, don't worry about it, sweetie. You can do that because it's a fun thing about news. Tomorrow's brings something. We also learned that apparently Perry White's been on the take from Lex Luthor since Jump Street.
Oh yeah, and Dr. Farm and his brother somehow trapped Lobo. Somehow.
Yeah.
They really didn't explain that part. How did you get the infamous bounty hunter, and then at the end of it all, he still believes that his city is lost, but yet Brainiac has it.
Yes. Brainiac still has the last city of Sarkeesiza.
Yeah, close enough.
Which they are still at an eternal war down there still. Yeah. But Lobo thinks he's the last son of the Sarkeesians. That is just not the case anymore. So, oh boy.
That's going to be it. It does set up for an interesting story, considering the fact that he thinks he's the last one. Brainiac is somewhere sitting in the shadows, and yeah, like you said, the connection between Perry White and Lex Luthor, like the fact that now Mayor Perry White, and it's like, what was his connection with Luthor? He buried every story. That is setting up for quite a different, and I like that. It sets up for a different story in Superman, so I definitely dig that.
Also, Lois has hired Livewire to be a gossip columnist on the Daily Planet, which I find hilarious. It's one of those, like, everybody tries to like reform the supervillains because now Silver Banshee is dating Jimmy. Livewire works for the Daily Planet. Parasite works for Supercorps.
Well, she did take out Red Cloud.
True.
She did take out Red Cloud, so I mean that does offer something.
But I mean, if anything, like at least Rudy and Rudy is Parasite, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Go on Superman the Animated Series. It makes it a bit more clear. Rudy and Silver Banshee, at the very least, are victim of circumstances. Livewire knows what she's doing half the time.
Oh yeah, she knew exactly. I just love the whole. If she is not, this take on Livewire is not a social media influencer with powers. That's what I love about her. She's like, like, share and subscribe.
So that was it. Again, good issue. This is just setting up the next arc for Superman once Nightmares ends. Speaking of Night Terrors, we're going to look at Night Terrors number 3. Superman. It was written by Josh Williamson with art by Muhammad Assar, Edwin Gallman, Caitlin Yarsky, Max Rayner, and Jack Harbert, with coloring by Dave McCraig, Edwin Gallman, and Alex. Can't see that. Gutierrez. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
So that also, I do not like this new art style, Jimmy, with the goofy, like full pompadour. It's a little weird.
You know what? I really thought that was Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho for a second. It was like, I think it's like somebody was.
You mean Kuwabara?
Yeah, Kuwabara. I'm not Urameshi. Kuwabara. Sorry. I got the wrong character with the pompadour. I apologize, but yeah,
there you go.
I thought that was Kuwabara. I was like, somebody's a fan.
That's a smidge. Next up, Night Terrors. This is written by Josh Williamson with art by Giuseppe Kamenkali, Stefano Nisi, and Caspar Wingard. Colors by Frank Martin and Caspar Wingard. The long and short of this one, they find the Dreamstone finally in like the last place you would think to look. Meanwhile, Sandman is taking on a nightmarish version of, I want to say, the Justice League, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Or just nightmare creatures in general.
Yeah.
With Brandon Bostwick still inhabiting Batman, but now has having found the Nightmare Stone within Deadman's own nightmare.
See, that's the part that bothers. I mean, aside from that, and Damian showing up and immediately knowing that his dad's body was possessed by
now that one actually makes sense because the last time Bruce and Damian were together, Bruce was possessed by the demon from the Lazarus planet.
Yeah.
So at least Damian knows, like, oh yeah, Dad's possessed again. Crap.
Yeah, I'll give him that. But, the whole, because again, when we're trying to figure out where Dr. Destiny had sat there and told Insomnia, it's like the Nightmare Stone is not in the hero's dreams. But at the same time, you find it in Deadman, where it's like, oh, you have to sacrifice. The whole idea of getting the Nightmare Stone is you have to sacrifice something. Yep. So what did Deadman actually sacrifice to get the Nightmare Stone? That's the question. Because, you see, it goes back to the circus. It goes back to where everybody thinks the fall that killed him. No one saw the bullet. So as he's digging into his body, it's like, what did he give up to get the Nightmare Stone? That's gonna be an interesting question in the next issue. That's all I'm getting at.
Oh no, you make an excellent point. Like, they don't really spell it out, and the bad part is the Night Terror line doesn't really help you out because it's not really saying you need to read at least this issue or this tie-in to understand what's going on. Like, obviously the Batman tie-in was like directly related.
And I will say this as someone that has read the Night Terrors from all the other ones, it does not help you at all.
Like I said, with the exception of maybe Batman, there's nothing really holding this together.
Now I will say this: Poison Ivy, excellent read. I love how they did that, and Joker, again, also excellent. Just pointing those out.
Yep. Green Lantern, not so much.
They kind of.
It's just how it's like, oh no, my nightmare is I'm Parallax and I have to fight him. This is like the third iteration of Parallax that's become separate from Hal that I can think of.
Is it just me or was it lazy writing for that?
It is, and like Sinestro's nightmare was far more entertaining and more thought-provoking than how just like, oh no, I'm Parallax again. Flash just was like, you wrote this specifically because the Flash movie was out, didn't you?
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that. I am so glad I'm not the only one that thought that. Because I'm like, we saw this. Why are we here?
In movie form. And it wasn't good then either.
But you're right. No, you're 100% right. Because how they did the Flash's Night Terrors, lack of originality.
The Black Adam one, I'm just like, well, okay, at least that makes sense for him. There's very few things that can unsettle Black Adam, so it's like, all right, no, that's fine.
True, very true, but still, some of them could use a little bit more work. But no, overall with this one, with just the Night Terror storyline between Deadman, Sandman, and now Damian, I dig it. Joe, hold up, Joe. I can't hear you. Let's see, because you're still showing mute.
Okay, anyways.
There you go.
I think my computer's front USB ports are starting to go out.
That sucks. But no, we can hear you now. So what are you saying?
So no, like I'm just saying, it's like the main line itself is fine. It's just that these tie-ins just don't lend anything to the main line, which I think is the biggest problem with this.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, fair point. I mean, you would think the whole idea of each of these night terrors would lead to something, but to say that the Nightmare Stone has already been found without nothing leading to it from previous issues of different aspects of dreams, yeah, it just didn't really, it didn't really connect the way it should have. I guess the best way I could put that.
So next up is World's Finest Teen Titans. This is a fun issue, mostly because Bumblebee gets to meet Mal, and they're like immediately hit it off. And Donna has like zero chill in this one, to the point where Mal and Bumblebee just like, she is thirsty, and Mal's just like, no, she is parched. And then Donna accidentally just like outs that Bumblebee's a superhero to Mal, and she's like, yeah, I don't care.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's just Donna's like, oh my god, I didn't mean to, and like Bumblebee just looking at me, I was like, yeah, I don't care. It's fine, he can know.
It was, yeah. She just sat there and said, you know what? I don't care that he knows. He's just cute. He's cute.
I mean, they are the premier married couple of DC for several different reasons.
True.
Even though we don't really get to like see them as much as we used to, but like when they are together, they are a very prominent couple in both the books and other media.
Very true.
As for everybody else, we don't get to see a whole lot of Wally. Donna just like is one of those things like everyone's like, it is fantastic that you are into everything, but you need to settle the crap down.
It's like turn it down a few notches.
And also, your boyfriend, are you sure he's into everything you are? Are you absolutely sure he's into everything you are? Because Garth looks like
Garth looks tired.
Garth looks tired, and not to make a pun because of who he is, but Garth looks like a fish out of water on some of these dates.
Oh yeah.
My favorite is the movie of like, oh god, so bright.
It was, I mean, he looked like he was just done. At the same time, it's funny how Donna just seems to want to take in everything, and it's like, which kind of does set up for the other end of the story.
Yes. So the other end of the book is they have a Titans lore where they have to go to a house, and it is a girl with meta powers who's projecting her own fears to the others, forcing them to face their own fears. This is nothing new. This is actually, she is honestly has straight up Danny Moonstar's powers. It's just, she's a meta, so she doesn't know how to control it. We actually had a very interesting discussion today about that over in Urban Anime Lounge, because we were looking at Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, just like telling and cursing out the Ultimate X-Men, and everybody's like, nope, he wasn't being racist, and he doesn't hate mutants. The Ultimate X-Men just screwed with him really badly, and he wanted to let them know.
Yeah.
And then we got into a discussion, it's like, if they were called anything but mutants, do you think they'd have more respect? It's like, well, I mean, honestly, DC just uses the word meta as a catch-all, and no one bats an eye.
Pretty much.
But it's also, you also got to think about it. If DC, not a lot of people are just born with their powers. A lot of almost, and I'm just tossing a random number out there, but I would say 70% of the DC universe has had their powers given to them.
Yeah.
Rather than being born with them, because, like, technically, like, the closest thing to a mutant, I guess you can get is anybody from Atlantis. Because they were Atlantean, but even then they were called Atlanteans, like how Clark is called a Kryptonian. No one's actually born with a power in the DC universe.
Yeah, fair assessment.
So, like, we were discussing, like, if Marvel used a different term other than mutant, would they not be hated as much? Like, possibly?
Yeah. I mean, we had the word enhanced for 10 years, so I mean, even that garners very not as much hate as the word mutant, but then again, we're just now getting used to saying the word mutant in the MCU. So who's that saying could go differently?
But anyways, no, good issue. Next issue looks to be even more hilarious because they end with everybody getting invited to Titans Con.
Yeah.
Which I love that everybody's like, fantastic, except for Robin, who's like, what the hell?
Very much. Robin was like, I'm sorry, Bat Narc.
Pretty much.
That was interesting.
So this is written by Mark Waid with art by Manuela Lapacino, with Jordi Belair doing colors. Yay, Jordi Belair doing more work. Yeah, like I said, good book. I want to keep reading this. Mark Waid's doing a good job on both World's Finest titles and keep continuing to do this.
Yeah.
Next up, Spirit World #4. Love this book. This is written by Alyssa Wong, art by Hanning, coloring by Stephen Ching, cover by Hanning and Stephen Ching. They are just pretty much facing the demons of the Netherworld, who is now pretty much just become the Blob. And Xanth and Batgirl and John Constantine are trying to get out of the world because John and Cassandra are not exactly supposed to be there.
Yeah, a
and
lot of people.
Demon World shenanigans take over.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do well in the world of the dead.
Nope. We're not going to talk very heavily on this one because I feel this is Superman or the highlights of this week. So definitely go read it. You're not going to be disappointed. The artwork's fantastic. I love this and City Boy. I'm kind of bummed that these are only going to be 6-issue minis. So hopefully Xanth will be used more later on down the road. I probably see Xanth being used more than City Boy, in all honesty.
You know what? I was gonna say differently, but the more I think about it, you're probably right.
I mean, City Boy is like, he can talk to a city. That's cool. But like, Xanth is an envoy to the spirit of the dead, and DC loves their magic people.
That's what I was gonna say. The more I thought about that, I was like, you know what? You are probably right, because I want City Boy to succeed, but at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, I could see that. I could see them going more with Spirit World and City Boy.
The other problem I have with City Boy is the issue 3 came out a week ago, and it felt like the whole book wrapped up there.
Yeah.
And even though it goes like, next issue, going to Gotham, it's like, yeah, but why? You've solved the majority of your problems this issue.
Pretty much.
Meanwhile, Xanth is still going, and like, we get to see the Fox Demon go full Fox Demon and other things going on, and we get to learn that, hey, we got to go to the Imperial Jade Palace of the Netherrealm. It's like, hooray, more Chinese mythology.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But again, I can't really say anymore because, again, I'll be spoiling it. But no, I like it.
Go read it. Next up, Star Wars. We're looking at this because we both enjoyed Dark Droids, and this is the second book of Dark Droids. As this shows, this is Lando Calrissian versus Lobot, because the Alliance is just as infected as the Empire, y'all. So,
yep.
C-3PO may not be that much of a threat in the grand scheme of things, but Lobot's a threat.
Lobot's different. I'm sorry. That was really cool.
Also, we get to see both Billy D. Williams and Donald Glover in this book.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a past and present because like Lando beats Lobot, but also severely regrets, so we get a flashback on how everybody met and whatnot. But Lobot is still infected, and we see some other droids slowly getting infected, and that little Imperial mouse droid no one's paying attention to is just kind of hanging around doing small, tiny, nefarious things, kind of like my cat.
What up? Like, it's a story. I feel like that's a story.
No, she just commits very small kitty crimes.
Oh, wow.
And occasional bank fraud.
That just feel like a story, but go ahead.
No, I mean, really, that's what this book is it's a small personal story of how Lando met Lobot and then, like, what he means to him and how badly it hurt Lando to, like, decommission him. And then we see a hut with a droid, and that's about to go even more south than the Alliance because, oh boy, that repair base full of things for the virus to eat.
Yes. I'm still waiting to see what CP3O does with this.
It can't be any worse than 000. Oh God, that's a terrifying thought of 000 and its R2D2 counterpart getting this virus.
Yeah.
I bet it does get it, and there's just no difference.
Oh, that's saying a lot. That's really saying a lot.
Well, I mean, it's specifically those two. One's a homicidal R2D2 with way too many rockets, and one's C3PO where he just loves torture. But it's just one of the things I just want to see them infected, and they're like, well, we're infected. So we're just going to go about business as usual.
I was gonna say that's gonna. Would he act the same, or would he be more? Yeah, that's actually a very good thought-provoking question. But I just have to wait and see because I'm still waiting to see what they actually do on the rebel side of things. But no, let's get read.
Moving on over, Spider-Man number 31. This is also Legacy issue 925, so this is a big number book. Guys, I'll be completely honest with you. This main story was complete and utter crap. They even went so far as to make a Marvel version of Lobo for a hot second just so they have a reason to take Tombstone out of the picture. I don't care about this. I don't care about this at all. Why are we looking at this book, though? We're looking at this book because this sets up every other Spider book out there at the moment. So we get to see Mary Jane become a new superhero because she gets to become Jackpot 3 because her kids got taken away from her at the end of the last thing because they were living symbology elements. And once the main dude was defeated, they no longer cease to exist.
Yeah.
So MJ does what every grieving mother does: put on a skin-tight costume and fight crime. Also, Felicia breaks up with Peter, which that really did suck. Out of the only thing I cared about in this one is like the girls' night out versus the guys' night out, and the complete stark and contrast. But Felicia's just coming to the conclusion is like, yeah, I got to break up with Peter, which that was just stupid for no reason.
That just goes to show you that just goes to show you that Peter will never just simply have peace. I don't know what it is, but can't just Peter for one run just have a little bit of peace. Because the wedding to me was interesting. Of course, the whole idea of Tombstone and Tombstone's daughter, also known as the Beetle, getting married to Robbie's son, and that whole dynamic, and the bachelorette part was kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah.
But the whole idea between him and Felicia, I'm like, Peter will never just simply get peace. It's like, can the man just be happy for a little while? That's all I'm saying.
So we got other issues, like I said. Mary Jane has her own little mini story in there. Dr. Octopus finally comes to the realization of, I never should have given up becoming the superior Spider-Man. He's an actually smarter version of myself, so I got to get that back.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to go find Mephisto and call off that deal. What else was there? Oh, yeah, no, the thing I'm looking forward to the most, the new Spider-Woman book. Someone done took Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's going to pay because she just walks right into the bar with no name. There are only two people that could probably get away with that. Her and Moon Knight. And just like immediately takes Taskmaster and starts to demolish him. And Taskmaster's like, all right, I'll give you those two for free. But this third one, and Jessica's like, you trained me. So you know what these Venom Blasts will do to you.
That was
and
fun.
You know at this point, I am no longer your trainee, so I'm going to use full power. Where are these people you trained? And Taskmaster's like, you know what? Loyalty's never been my strong suit, so...
he immediately, common sense kicked in at that point.
See, I mean, that's what I like about Taskmaster, why he's probably one of my favorite villains, is because, is he a despicable scoundrel? Yes, but does he have any moral code? To a degree, yes.
Yeah. He's got
to a degree.
He's got
He never works on a contract. He doesn't double cross his employers. But the moment he's like, you know what? This is not worth it, and I know when I'm in over my head, I'm not doing this. I'm not taking this contract. He's actually not that bad of a dude. He was actually a hero for a very brief time during the 52 state era where he was actually training people. And he's also hilarious in the Deadpool run where he's there. But anyways, no, someone took Jessica Drew's son, Jerry. Mm-hmm. And Jessica, that does not go well with Jessica. If you've been reading the Jessica books, lots of bad things have happened to that poor woman. Some of it brought on by herself, some of it not. Mm-hmm. Poor Carol trying her best to be the best friend that there ever was, but Jessica makes it very hard to be a best friend. Mm-hmm. To the point where everybody, even Spider-Man, has to get involved because I believe Jessica Jones is like, so have you seen Jessica? And Pete's like, so this is a spider thing, a family thing. Or no, Jessica asked that, and Peter's like, so Jessica got hit by a dagger that unmade her from reality and then remade. Mm-hmm. And we don't know what consequences have happened. When that happened to me, I came back with this annoying child nobody wants.
Dang.
So Jessica is now trying to find her son, which may or may not have been unmade in reality because she was stabbed by that dagger in the Dan Slott book.
Yeah.
So, God, I hope they don't undo this because I really like the fact that she's a mom. It makes for a very interesting dynamic. It's a dynamic that Pete should have, but we'll let that go, as we usually do.
You let it go because this current Spider-Man runs why you let it go.
Then we see that for whatever super bizarre reason, they are bringing back Spider-Man Reign.
Yeah, it's different.
We don't know why. Like, sure, that's all I got to say. Sure.
You know how I sat there and said about Nintendo constantly cushioning out Mario games? Spider-Man.
For those unaware, Spider-Man Reign, this is where Spider-Man's in his late 70s, early 80s. And we learned that Mary Jane has died of cancer from sleeping with Peter all that time. That is a real thing that happened in the book in the original Spider-Man Reign. Like, he even says, like, I killed you with my radioactive bodily fluids. So Mary Jane died a slow, painful death of cancer because of Peter.
It's just the Reddit. Go to Reddit and look it up. The jokes alone are funny enough. Just the jokes alone are just funny.
What were the other two? We have another story involving Bailey the Spider Boy. I don't care. I don't care what his supporting cast is. I'm not reading that book.
Nobody's really looking forward to Spider Boy.
The only other thing that happened in this is Pete gets Kamala Khan caught up on everything that happened when she died. Mm-hmm. And then this is a bit of a point of contention for a lot of people where Spider-Man's like takes his mask off and says, like, I only do this for like dying kids with incurable diseases. And a lot of people took that as Pete making a joke out of that.
Yeah.
I did not take that into that context when I read this. I took it as Pete going like, no, I can trust you with who I am. Like Pete saying, like, I only do this for children that are not going to live.
Right.
So they can at least say, hey, I got a secret. But I mean, so Peter exposes his actual identity to Kamala. Of course, Kamala, like, moderately freaks out, understandably. And also, I love that she keeps name dropping. It's like, by the way, if you need me, I'll be with the X-Men.
That was
like,
funny.
Yes, we know.
How someone who did not know if they wanted to be the X-Men or not, all of a sudden, extremely comfortable.
So that is why we looked at this book. I actually did look at the Spider-Man annual. It was not. Oh, right. The other stupid story. So we find out what Green Goblin's been getting up to. She has been fighting Craven to the point where they just decided to start sleeping with each other.
That was not on my bingo card of 2020.
That was not on my bingo card either. Even Craven's like, well, this takes me one close to being Spider-Man. It's like, sure.
That part was funny. It's like, well, I guess if you can't beat him,
sleep with him.
Sleep with him?
Like, I don't know what book this is going in. I don't know what storyline you're going with. You know, but like, I just did not expect, like, yeah, I keep fighting her and it gets more and more fierce, and then we just took it to the bedroom. It's like,
that's what you just want to sit there.
This escalated about as quickly as a Digimon digivolving.
I just thought about it. It's like, well, I guess he figured it's like, this. I guess I'm filled with life. I said, I bet. Considering the scratch marks, I bet.
I mean, my only disappointment is that we resolved the Ben Reilly stuff for a little bit. I was kind of hoping we get another update on Ben, but the last little thing we got from Spider-Man showed us what's going on with Ben and whatnot, and he's not getting out of prison anytime soon. At least Madeline did say, like, look, when his term's up, he'll go.
Yeah.
Man's at least fair about that. So, yeah. So, again, guys, main story, not that great. It's a little bit better than what I usually give it credit for because the bachelorette party was a lot more fun. All the stories, this just sets up pretty much the whole point of this book is it just sets up what's going to be happening in the terms of the Spider-Verse going on around with all these Spider books.
But at the same time, Rabbit is an instigator. Rabbit is an instigator for a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, most definitely. If anything, I would definitely recommend picking up the upcoming reboot of Spider-Woman. I have the last two book collections of her runs coming out that came out. Mm-hmm. Fantastic stories. I cannot wait to see how this resolves because Jessica Drew is slowly becoming a favorite Spider person.
Especially with Across the Spider-Verse actually out now for everybody to watch.
Yeah, that's a different Jessica altogether. Like, there's a whole... They are literally night and day to that one. Like, the moment that moment movie Jessica has her Jerry, let's get into that.
Yeah, fair enough. But at least it's a nice segue into it. I guess you can call it that.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, I did buy the digital version.
Me too.
I'm still getting the physical version.
Oh, I had to buy it just because the kids is like, oh yeah, it's showing on Prime now. I said we have to buy it. I said Prime doesn't mean it's free. Sometimes you have to read between the lines on that stuff. You got to buy it.
But for the same old adage, $20 is $20.
That is also true.
Moving on over, we have Children of the Law. This is the start, continuing the Fall of X. This is written by Dennis Camp with art by Luca Marcelli and colors by Carlos Lopez. So the long and short of this is, forward remember that the Children of the Vault, with Krakoa falling, the Vault's going to go down, and all those next generation mutants that can easily overpower and wipe out all of standard mutant kind is going to be let out. They wake up, and they're like, so we are going to kill all of mutant kind for them doing this to us. And then they have their one person who's like, yeah, all the mutants are gone, and we have no viable targets.
Right.
What do we do? It's like, well, we will bide our time and help humanity under the we will screw humanity over while biding our time as masquerading as its new saviors. Because they don't know that we're mutants. And even Orochi's like, yeah, we're not messing with these dudes.
The fact that they sat there and said, oh, we're just going to solve all your problems in one shot and you're going to love us. And Orcus is like, we just literally got finished with one group. and these are more powerful than the last ones. It's like, yeah, let's just let it ride. Let it ride. Let this one ride out.
So this book is now what's going on with Cable, who is now old Cable, which is super weird because Orchis did not capture old Cable.
Mm-hmm.
They captured Kid Cable. So don't. Right. Old Cable was up on Mars.
However,
that's where he was.
However, new Cable seemed to be attached to his arm a little bit.
Yes. We also get to see this is what they're deciding to do with Bishop. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that already the Children of the Vault have implanted nearly all of humanity some sort of virus in their brains. Cable did not get it because Cable doesn't really believe in social media. So he doesn't really give a crap. I also like the fact that there is a one-off joke where someone recognizes Cable for a hot second and Cable makes him think he's Josh Brolin.
That was funny. He's like, I can't believe I met Josh Brolin. Thank you, Mr. Brolin. I was like, well played, Cable. Well played.
Yeah, he looks enough like me, sure. No, so I don't know if I'm going to follow this one or not. I mean, I want to see where it goes because, Bishop's in this, and Bishop has been really fun to read consistently. It's one of those things like there's so many other things happening with Fall of X.
On different freaking levels. Jesus. Which, again, I give them credit. They're taking us on a ride from the Hellfire Gala up until now. It's been a ride, so I'm not complaining.
I just want to see Nimrod try to fight these guys and him being like totally outclassed. I understand Nimrod is the ultimate mutant killer. However, this Nimrod actually has a human personality because of events that happened during Destiny of X.
Yeah.
So this Nimrod's a little bit different, but he's still like the ultimate mutant killer, but I don't think he can handle these guys.
That'll be interesting. I will say that. That will definitely be interesting. But no, Children of the Vault was definitely well done. It does set up a different dynamic as far as now that they've pretty much got practically every human on their side.
I just want to say, I think it's the majority of South America.
I thought it was more worldly, but it could have been just a single continent for all I know.
I'll have to go back and look at the book because I mean they list where they are.
Yeah. But no, go ahead.
Well, I said you disagreeing with you. Like, I want to see where this goes.
Because I mean, it's almost like they're angry, but they have nobody to go after it. So it's like the X-Men. It's like the mutants are gone. All we have are the humans. Well, crap. It's like I guess we helped them. It's like you want to be mad, but the point of your rage, like you're looking for Forge. They tricked us by putting us in a prison, but they're gone. What do you really do at this point?
Yeah,
but no, it was a good read. I liked it.
Okay, so I snuck this one in because I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because if you are not reading the new Cody Ziegler Miles Morales book, guys, you are missing out. So this is written by Cody Ziegler with art by Federico Vincentini and art by Federico Sabatini. That's not fair. You cannot have two people with that first name and those close to last names. So, guys, let me just put it this way. Miles has been fighting for his life since the moment Cody Ziegler put it out to the point where Miles is getting ready to have a nervous breakdown. Everybody's trying to talk to him, and he is his girlfriend, Starling, Genki, his parents have all been put in terrible danger. Mm-hmm. He just got finished and nearly died fighting a version of the video game version of the Tinkerer called somebody completely different, but it was definitely her. The cops are on him because he's still technically a younger superhero, and even though Luke Cage is currently the mayor, mm-hmm. the legislation of superheroes doing work is still in effect from the Kingpin era. So Luke is still yet to dismantle that, but again, that government does not work that way.
Yeah.
So The cops are on his thing, and Miles is just now fighting Roger Kingsley, the Hobgoblin, and this poor boy. I just feel so bad for him just because he is just hanging on by a hope and a prayer and spit bubble gum at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The point where at the end of this issue, he is like broken down into tears and crying and trying to like tell Starling everything that's wrong, but he doesn't get the time to because something else now he needs to like keep going. And it's just one of those like Cody Ziegler is trying to break this poor boy and just build him up from the ground up. And I am here for it.
I will say it once. I will say it again. Whenever it comes to a Spider-Man character, its instant tragedy and difficulty level is at an all-time high.
I think it's more so than Miles because I don't even think Peter's been strung out this much.
I don't know. It's starting to be neck and neck at this point.
Well, I mean, he just fought the Tinkerer who nearly killed him, his mother, his dad, Genki, and Starling. Then immediately fights the Scorpion, who he nearly dies from that fight, to the whole Carnage event. And then as soon as that ends, it's back. It's fighting Hobgoblin as soon as Carnage is out of sight.
Yeah.
He gets no downtime in this book.
But still, I have to go back. I have to go back and go read part. I have to go back and read. I don't really remember part one and part one from Spun Out, so I definitely need to go back and read it.
Yeah, definitely. I said go give this a read. I always snuck it in because like it's just. It even says here after traumatic encounters with supervillains like that's what his name, Rabble. That was the version of the Tinkerer.
Yeah.
Miles has stressed himself out to the point where his spider sense is in constant overload. And it's not working because of how stressed he is. Because all it senses is the danger internally from Miles going nonstop.
So it's almost like he's defective.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, go out, read this book. This is what Spider-Man should be. I mean, not the mental breakdown part. I mean, the good book part.
I mean, Spider-Man is always one step from mental breakdown. It's not exactly too far off.
Like, at least Blue Beetle knows when to have a mental breakdown. It's the second Sunday of every month.
Yeah.
He said so himself enough himself. Okay, finale of the night, Immortal X-Men number 14. Honest to God, I thought this book was done at 13. Apparently, we are not done. This is written by Kieran Gillian with art by Lucas Wernick and colors by David Crewell and Eric Arcinidia. We'll go with that. Oh, so many stories to tell in this one, and it's all hilarious. So Charles needs a shave as he is just like on the coast of Krakoa, just like everything is screwed. I screwed everything up. Everything is miserable. Everything is miserable. We smash cut over to Sebastian Shaw, who apparently takes the mutant cure and is no longer a mutant.
Yeah.
And then realizes that the deal he made was for Krakoa. So he owns the island. He does not own any of the subsidiaries or capital that Krakoa amassed.
Pretty much.
I also love that he has a new Tessa, and the new girl's like, well, my name's not Tessa. And it's like,
for what I'm paying you, your name's going to be Tessa.
I also like that she's like very fearful of him. It's like, are you expecting me to throw you out a window? I'm a businessman, not a supervillain.
Although I love he went back to Mother Righteous, was like, you didn't make a deal with a businessman, you made a deal with a sorceress, and you got what you wanted. Although, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just love her where it's like, you made a deal with a sorceress, a storyteller, a spell spinner. I give you what you want, just not the way you want it.
She monkey pawed you. So it's like, congratulations. You got what you wanted, but not really what you wanted. But the crazy part about it was it kind of goes back to the Invincible Iron Man, where we see Tony kind of saving Emma Frost, but Emma and Fisk signing something, and we see the culmination of that, where now we find out that Wilson Fisk is the new White King of the Hellfire Club.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that hadn't happened sooner.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. But aside from the fact of that happening and revoking Sebastian Shaw's membership and kicking him out at the same time, that was interesting.
That was so good.
Emma had the ultimate in his head moment. Like, where are you? Oh, I'm safe. I just wanted to talk to you, let you know how it feels. How does it feel to not be the smartest person in the room? He's like, you could have had all the riches that you wanted. Now you have sense. I was like, damn. But what does Sebastian Shaw do? Wait, I have Krakoa. I have an island that I can mine the crap out of. Get operations going immediately. If that is not a smile, if that is not a frown turned upside down moment, and then gets mad when nothing has happened.
I mean, he even Salingo there, and they're with some of Orch's guys. And it's like, there are monsters on this. I was like, there are no monsters. There are only mutants, and they're not there anymore. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. And Celine just like, why are we working with these racist idiots? And of course, as soon as they land on the island, Charles just immediately scares them off with monsters. Yeah. And then we cut to the hilarious thing where I swear to God, I guarantee you, Exodus is really Moses. Mm-hmm. So we learn that Hope, Exodus, and Destiny are in a desert. Yep. And then once they cross over a single dune, they see that all of Krakoa had wound up in the same spot. Mm-hmm. So Exodus, like, look, we're just going to cross the desert. There'll be a place. I know where there's a place. I know where we are. I know where we can go. It'll be a refuge for us. And it's like, I will lead us there. And I'm like, you were Moses, weren't you? Because Exodus does talk about meeting Jesus. So it's like, you were Moses. This is how all those plagues actually happen. You just use your mutant powers.
I just love the fact he goes, so do you know where you're going? Nope. I got faith. At least I have faith. That's like, woo, okay, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting part, but it does answer the question that not all the mutants are dead. However, there's somewhere where Charles cannot sense them. At the same time, you see Emma trying to convince Charles, like, they're not dead. There's no way they can be dead. And you didn't cause your own genocide of your own people. So it's interesting that Charles is kind of staying on the island and defending it, but it's like you're kind of it's almost like that self-imposed exile. So I get that, but no,
it's Emma being her wonderful self in this thing. I love that thing with Sebastian. I was like, oh honey, you played the short trade. You can go for the long one, and I did it for the children.
That's just it. That's just damn. So Emma wins again, although she does it in the most snidey and shadiest ways. Can't knock for that. But no, I dig. It was good. It was a good issue.
I mean, Immortal X-Men just is always good. Kieran Gillen knows what he's doing. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's probably one of the best writers we have at Marvel next to Jed McKay.
Yeah.
Which the new issue of Avengers did come out. The only reason we didn't really do that one is because I thought Miles took precedence over that one, and plus it's just a kind of a big punchy fighty issue with not a lot going on. So that's why we didn't do Avengers 4. But Avengers 4 did drop. And then Spider-Man Annual came out in that, like, tied into Contest of Chaos, which I bet would be fantastic tie-in had Agatha Harkness come out on time.
Yeah, but that's the strike has. Again, when you don't pay writers and actors, this is what happens. Everything gets pushed back.
And that's pretty much it on comics for this week.
Okay. Well, as we're wrapping up, Joe, anything you want to let people know what you're up to coming up?
At some point I'll hop back on Street Fighter. I'm just taking a small break right now. Kind of burned myself out after getting to Gold Rank 3 and just floating around nebulously between Gold Rank 2, Gold Rank 3, and Gold Rank 4. I just always come back to Gold Rank 3 because I just get a series of good matches and I get a series of bad matches, and then I climb out of the 2 spot, go back to the 3 spot, like, well, I'm good for the night.
All right.
I will be putting the podcasts out this week. Just had a lot going on with everybody in the family being sick and whatnot, so I haven't been able to do that. But we are on Spotify, Stitcher for however much longer that thing's on, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. In one other place, I promise we're on one other place, just not Apple, because I'm not paying $15 just to upload a file every week.
Also, we are available on Opulence Radio and Always Record TV as well. But yes, you can definitely catch Joe, like you said, at his Twitch channel at Joe Italian Last Name. Of course, his YouTube channel at Total Justice Gaming. I myself, guys, you can find me Black Fox 447 on all the socials. I usually do reviews on everything that I watch, that I read, that I play, and gym stuff as well. Again, the link at the bottom, it makes that a little bit bigger for everybody to see. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, we'll take you to the link tree that has the YouTube and the YouTube and Facebook groups for all of the podcasts. How the Frick Got Here, Get Bit, and of course, Offense Podcast. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you think of everything, of all the trailers that we went over, the news that we got from Evo 3 and things of that nature. We still want to know yours. We still want to know your opinions. Again, there are no wrong answers. Just have the rules of agree, disagree, and again, don't be a dick. Simple as that. Aside from that, guys, we will be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. Of course, this is con season, as Black Label Con is happening this weekend. So again, the con rules that I love to go over, because again, this is things that people need to know. Rule number 1, respect all the cosplayers at all times. Treat them the same way you want to be treated. It takes a lot of bravery for someone to put on their fandom, to go out there in a room full of strangers and not be treated anything except like a decent person. You know how you want to be treated. Treat them the same way, with class, dignity, and politeness. It is as simple as that. Rule number 2, soap and water are still available. Soap, water, and deodorant. And I would say cologne, but I think some of y'all kind of go a little too over on it. So let's just stick with soap and water. Soap, water, and deodorant. Again, these are cons where, number 1, you could have space that you could pull a truck through. At the same time, it could be elbows to everybody. The thing about it is, guys, we all have learned basic hygiene, I hope. And of course, soap is still available and very cheap at your local grocery store or corner market store. So again, please, hygiene, grooming, please do that. Nobody wants to be funky at a con. And number 3, again, this goes back to the same rule that Will Wheaton put out there for the internet, but I go by it as well. Simply put, don't be a dick at the cons. Be polite, be nice. You will find out that you get a lot farther doing those things than being a prick. In this case, don't be a dick. Simple as that. But with that being said, we're definitely going to call it again as we try to cover more news next week in the video game and anime and comic book world. We may actually talk a little bit about wrestling since All In is happening. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to fall out. I do know that SmackDown and Rampage both happened. I believe something happened on SmackDown. We will cover it next week to see what's going on from there. Like I said, we're not going to be doing a lot in the way of movie and television news because, again, we do stand with the actors and the writers and now the VFX and graphics artists. Pay these people. It's that freaking simple. That being said, guys, me and Joey, last word, sir, before we call it a night? You're muted, sir.
No, I'm pretty tired. I'm good.
He's satisfied. I still want
him. No, I'm adequate. I'm just very sleepy.
I understand. It's been a long week. With that being said, he's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Give It Podcast, guys. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and we will all get through this. Peace.